Hello, this is Domenico with Easynomics, and this is the final video where we're making calculations with a tariff model in the context of a paper 3 type of exam. There'll be links below to 2 playlists where you can find this video. This video will also appear in a few other playlists, but these are the main ones. One playlist for global economy, types of trade protections, where we cover tariffs, production, export subsidies, and quotas. There's also a dedicated playlist just for paper 3, paper 2 calculations for practice. So let's go ahead and tackle this last question. So there's a few videos that are all linked below. We've tackled calculating changes in consumer surplus, producer surplus, the government import tariff revenue, and the welfare loss of triangles A and B. For question D, we can also interpret calculating the change in social surplus as the welfare loss plus the government tariff revenue. That could be an accepted answer. Or you can just state it's the welfare loss of triangles A and B, and that's it, which is what we did in the last video, which we can see our workings here. So in our last video, we calculated the surface area of triangle A and B being 392 million, both being the same. We added them up, 392 million plus 392 million, so we get that final answer of 784 million, which we see here. In a previous video, we calculated question C, and the government import tariff revenue, which is this area here, which I'll highlight. We did base times height to calculate the value of the tax revenue collected, the tariff revenue collected by the Turkish government. And in that calculation, we stated that the value of that was 2,800 million. So I'm just going to make a note here. I'm going to highlight this triangle. I'm sorry, this rectangle. Okay, and we calculated that the value there is 2,800 million. Okay, from our previous workings in question C. So get rid of this and illustrate the sum of the two welfare losses plus the government tax tariff revenue collected. And then we'll also see that we can arrive to that same answer by calculating the surface area of a trapezium. And that'll be it. Okay. So calculate the change in social surplus. I'm going to make a note here. The change in social surplus could be equal to welfare loss. And we calculate that being equal to 784 million. Or we can interpret that as the change in social surplus being equal to the welfare loss plus the tariff revenue. Okay, so the welfare loss we calculated as 784 million. We're going to add that to the tariff revenue. And the tariff revenue we calculated previously as being 2,800 million or 2.8 billion. So we can just add that up. And so that combined social surplus, 784 million plus 2,800 million works out to 3,584 million, or 3.584 billion. Okay, that could be an accepted answer by the IB, or it could also be accepted, this answer of just the two welfare losses. All right, so when we get to this answer of 3,584 million, being the sum of the welfare losses plus the tariff revenue, we see that that shape is a trapezium, which I'm going to highlight. So here we have this trapezium shape. Let's see if I can really, what color can I really emphasize that? Let's try red. So here's the trapezium shape. Okay, so we're going to just practice calculating that. So here we have this trapezium shape here. It's not accurately drawn, but in any case, that's what that looks like. So can we calculate the surface area of that? Yes. So trapezium. Here we have two lengths, A and B, and we also have a height C. So the surface area would be A plus B times C divided by 2. Okay? So what is the length of A? A. The length of A is going from this point to this point. 14.8 million minus 4.8 million. So A is 14.8 million minus 4.8 million, and that equals 10 million. Oh, let me get rid of the dollar sign. No dollar sign there. 10 million. Okay, what about B? Okay, here's A. What about B? B, going from this point to this point. Here we have 17.6 million to 2 million. So that's going to equal 17.6 million minus 2 million. That equals 15.6 million. Great, so I have that length. What about the height of C? What's this height here? A different color, C. C equals, it's going from 480 to 200. So here we have 480 minus 200. That equals 280. Great, so I have all of that, which I can then plug into this formula. So this is going to equal, A is 10 million. I'll put 10m for million plus 15.6 m for million times 280, and divide that all by 2. That works out to 25.6 million times, again, 280 divided by 2, and that equals 3,584 million. All right, if you can follow the movement here. So I'm going from my calculation here, and then arrive to that answer there. And so there we see that either way, using the trapezium formula or adding up this rectangular area plus the true triangles, we get the same answer. So here we have 3,584 million, or 3.584 billion, which is the same as the previous calculation. We can see that here we arrive to the same answer. And that's the purpose of this video, just again playing and working with the trapezium formula. Again, in the video notes, I'll have all of these calculations provided. There'll be links to the previous videos for all of these other calculations. And that's it. I hope that this helped you work with the tariff model and making different types of calculations. And I'll try to provide some more videos on using production export subsidies, quotas, and so forth, so we can practice calculating with that. If you have any questions, you can comment those questions below, and don't forget to subscribe and to like. Thank you so much.